cold, rainy, windy day. It's beautiful. I'm the only one on the range, so haven't hit any balls yet. Basically figured I'd just go through what I would normally do. First thing I usually do is take out my driver and just take practice swings just to loosen up. Obviously it's the longest club in the bag, so get kind of stretched out. Stretching beforehand. My body gets sore and is sore often, so it usually takes me a little more than most people to warm up. I'm not a big fan of just showing up to the first tee and going unless I'm, warmed up a little. And it really has nothing to do with, how I'm hitting the ball, but rather just my body feels real tense and tight if I don't. Start with some pitching wedges. Let's get a stick out here. If you can see, there's a gap in the trees where the tree on the right has kind of the base of it you can see, then branches out, and then there's 4 bushes left. Basically it's aimed right in between those, and the wind is blowing pretty hard in this direction, kind of right to left, right in my face. My favorite wind to practice in is this way, which if you slice the ball is not a good wind, but I think it's the hardest wind to play in is a little left to right, but in your face, because if you slice or push it at all, it just exaggerates. Anyway. Fat a little bit. Got away with it because it was off a mat, but always hit the ball high. I'm always trying to hit the ball a little lower, a little lower. Towed that one. It's not as easy to see as like when I'm in the shop, but the first few were centered, and that one was right there was the center of the ball. Just kind of toey. Some 7 irons, I guess. What I like to do is keep some good balls off to the side. Kind of hit the crappy balls first and then save some of the good balls for hitting driver or whatever. Or just later in the practice session. Warm up with the crappier balls. Ball flight recently is just straight, kind of favoring a draw. I almost always try to keep my ball flight favoring about straight. That way if I need to curve it in any direction, I'm not too far away. But just because you favor straight, you're still always kind of going to have a dominant side. Most of the time that I've played golf, I've always hit kind of straight favoring a fade. But recently it's been the opposite, straight kind of favoring a draw. The spin down, especially when it's cold and windy. It's like, yeah, on a nice summer day without the wind, I can hit my 7-iron 175, 180, no problem. But I might be hitting 7-iron from 140, 145 in weather like this. Maybe even shorter. I've hit 7-iron from 125 before when it's real cold, real stiff wind, pins in the back. Big issue I see is people always want to take the least amount of club and swing harder. That almost never works, especially into the wind. Sometimes into the wind, hitting it harder makes it go shorter because he just shoots the spin up and the wind just shoots it up even higher. Swing easy. Hit some fades. Try to favor some fades now. Sometimes when it's windy, it's tough to hear the camera. Shape, I just hit it like shit. These baskets barely have any balls in them, so switch the clubs up. Normally I'd probably hit 2 baskets, but I'm probably gonna go hit some chip shots on the short game green and then come back to the range. That was left. Hit it good though. So right there, it's really important to understand the new laws of ball flight and just kind of the physics of the game. My shirt keeps coming untucked. So right there, that ball started maybe a little bit left of where I wanted it. So I know my face was closed and my swing path was out right of that a little too much, which made it overcook. So now I know to correct that, I need to just hold the face a touch more square and not come so much from the inside. And ways to affect your swing path, like if you're coming too much from the inside, too much over the top, is simply with your stance. The more I aim everything right, the more my swing path is going to be coming out to the, coming from the inside and swinging out to the right. Like if I wanted to play a big draw, I would aim out here, feel like I'm pushing out to the right while keeping my shoulders closed. Big old draw, right to the target. Just the opposite. I wanted to fade it, just open everything up, get everything moving left. Not only on, like dog legs and whatnot, or getting out of trouble, do you need, shots like that, but you can also use it to your advantage. Like right now with all this wind straight into my face, I want to keep that ball low, especially if it's like a little bit of a dog leg left, the wind's hard in my face. I'm probably going to play more of a big draw like that, and it's just going to help it penetrate through the wind better, as opposed to a fade is just going to balloon up into the wind. Pretty straight though. Maybe just a hair right, it didn't quite draw. Just kind of stayed out there. Not the best strike though. I'm real picky. If it's not perfect, I call myself that. That's another thing though, since the wind is coming, in my face, right to left, there's two ways to go about it. If you're looking more to find the fairway, I would suggest shaping it into the wind, rather than if you're looking for distance or ride. Drop the flight down a little bit. Oh, yeah, suck it. Keep catching a little fat. They're the right shapes though. On target, just knocking some distance off. Struck well. Tried to almost take a divot. It's a about as low as I can hit it. I've always been a high ball hitter. Just trying to knock those last few down, which is especially hard in the wind because they kind of end up being a stinger. And that's what a stinger is. A stinger is a low shot that rises. It's not just any punk shot. People like to use the term stinger